Hey guys, Mike here. So today I'm here to talk to you about 2013's Frozen, starring Kristen Bell as Anna and Idina Menzel as Elsa. In Frozen, after a newly crowned Queen Elsa accidentally uses her ice powers to cover her home in an eternal winter, her sister Anna, a mountain man, his friendly reindeer, and a snowman must team up to get Elsa back to end the eternal winter. And so we have Frozen. So guys, this movie was requested by my friend Ryan. And for a while now, anytime movies kind of come up in conversation, he would just say, watch Frozen. And I thought he was kind of joking for a while until he just kind of kept saying it. And then after a while as well, he kind of said that I should really watch it and gave an actual recommendation. And I was kind of apprehensive at first because for a while now, since this movie's come out, I really had no reason or desire to watch it. I mean, this film came out when I was in college and near enough everyone in my class had seen it. Granted as well, I don't remember them talking too much about it, but it was pretty much everywhere in 2013. You couldn't go 5 minutes outside without hearing Let It Go. And it was this overabundance of hearing that song which really kind of actually made me not want to watch this film. But in any case, I've watched the film now, so what did I think of Frozen? Well, I gotta say, I just really liked the characters in this film. Honestly, I don't think there's a single bad character in this film. I think Anna is such a great lead. She's not this kind of perfect princess who's absolutely brilliant in every single way. She is presented as a somewhat confident character, but really, she's just this kind of bumbling mess who kind of struggles to get round. And it's not kind of bumbling in the sense of that she's constantly making mistakes or that she's an idiot or anything like that. It's more the fact of that she's just really lighthearted and fun and just kind of sometimes that gets in the way. She's bumbly, she's clumsy, she's got that kind of girl next door feel to her. And honestly, if they just made that her character, she probably might have actually come off as kind of annoying. But beyond that as well, she's just got such great determination. Despite not having any great skills or superpowers like her sister, she still sets off into the wilderness, not really knowing where she's going, just to try and save her sister. Because more often than not, these characters just won't have any kind of obstacle they need to overcome. There'll be no risk for them, no challenge. And though as a whole this film is very lighthearted, it still feels like there's an actual challenge for her, that there are actual consequences if she fails. Coupled with this and the way she interacts with every other character in the film just make her such an endearing character. And then of course you've got Elsa. Honestly, she could have come off as a real Superman or a Captain Marvel kind of character where they have no physical obstacles that they have to overcome because they're already super powerful and nothing poses a threat to them. And on the surface, it could be perceived that Elsa's character was like that, but the core thing that makes her character great is her herself, this internal struggle that she has. Because like in all these Superman stories, it's not whether Superman can beat the person, it's whether or not he's doing the right thing. A lot, if not all of the great Superman stories aren't about him fighting some unstoppable being and winning the day. It's the moral aspect to it, because really Superman is the story of a god trying to pretend to be a man. And while Elsa's not exactly up to that scale, it does kind of feel like that a lot of times, because she has this super dangerous power which, if uncontrolled, can cause a lot of harm. It pretty much caused her to isolate herself from everyone around her, including her sister. And you can tell right from the get-go that if Anna knew about Elsa's powers, after her mind was wiped, she would have been completely accepting of her. And throughout the story, no matter what obstacle is thrown her way, her sister still wants to help her. But again, going back to Elsa, the thing that makes her character great is this, struggle that she's going through. The fact she can't really let anyone in, otherwise they'll be hurt. And because of this, she's had to suppress a part of herself for pretty much all her life. Until one day it just comes to the surface in a very violent way, forcing her to run away. And then once she's run away, she realizes that there's no real reason to actually hold back anymore. She can finally let it go. And that actually brings me on to the music of Frozen. Honestly, I thought this film was really just going to have Let It Go, and that was it. None of the other songs were going to stand out in any significant way. But as it turns out, quite a lot of the songs in this film are actually really good. Granted, not every single song in this film is a massive hit, but the ones that do stand out are really good and do stay with you after the movie. But then, of course, obviously, you come to the main thing of Frozen, the thing that everyone knows about this film, the song Let It Go. And obviously, the main reason I was so apprehensive to watch this film, at risk of hearing this song that I'd heard a million times before, even without having watched the movie. But I would say, knowing the context of the song now, it actually makes me appreciate the song a lot more. Because before, hearing the song Let It Go, I never really put much thought into the song. I just thought it was a catchy, kind of annoying song, and I didn't really think of it much beyond that. But seeing the way the story sets up this scene where she sings Let It Go, it's just actually becomes quite a heartbreaking song. The fact that the only time she can really be herself and let it go is when no one else is around. The fact she can't show her true self to other people. And though the song is really upbeat and uplifting, and at the same time it does feel quite liberating, it is surrounded by an aura of sorrow. And again, knowing the context of the song does actually make me like it a lot more. But I did find sometimes that depending on how I was listening to the song, depending if it was on the radio, a YouTube video, TV, sometimes the song would be very pitchy and very high note, and it would really kind of like hit you right there. But when I was actually watching the film, I don't know if it was just the version I was watching, but the song actually sounded really good. It didn't sound very screechy at all. But as well, a character who honestly I thought was going to really aggravate me was Olaf the Snowman. Because really, in all these children's movies, you gotta have a comic relief that if failing everything else, if the kids aren't interested in the story, they can just be like, haha, look at the silly character. And Olaf definitely is that character. But when I was watching it, I thought that he was just going to really be quite a graining character, just overly positive and just really annoying. But as it turns out, I found that I actually really liked him, because though not everything he says is an absolute side splitter, more often than not, the things that he says are actually really funny. I mean, even though it's not exactly a very layered joke, the idea that a snowman wants to kind of go to somewhere hot and enjoy the sun is quite amusing. But I think the thing that made me like his character as well is that in serious scenes, he didn't undercut the tension with a joke. While there was something serious going on, he didn't just kind of come out and just go, hey, look at me, I'm a snowman, or something like that. When the character's there in a serious moment, he'll either be kind of light-hearted and, you know, kind of put the other characters to ease, or he'll just won't say anything. He won't try and like cut into the scene. And there were so many opportunities where I was looking at him and thinking, don't you do it, don't you undercut this scene. And so in the end, Olaf turned out to be a really good character, so, you know, props to the movie. But as well, slight spoiler here, but the character of Hans, going into this film, I knew that he was the villain. I don't remember how I heard it, but I knew that he was going to be the villain of the story. But throughout the film, I'm just looking at this guy just like, is he the villain? He hasn't done anything evil yet. In fact, he's been actually a really nice and compassionate guy. Even up until the moment he actually makes his true intentions clear, I was still saying, no, this guy can't be the villain, look at him. But when he says to Anna, who would ever love you? I gotta admit, it did just take me back. I was there just like, nah, no way, you're the villain. Even though I knew he was, it still caught me off guard, which, again, I gotta give props to the movie. But then, the biggest surprise for me came with the ending. I thought that the way this movie was setting it up, it was going to be a really obvious ending. Which, again, like, is a spoiler, but I want to talk about it, so, you know what, if you don't want to hear it, just click off the video. Basically, leading up towards the end, Anna gets hit by Elsa with her ice powers, and her heart's turning to ice, and all of her is turning to ice, basically. So then the troll says, only true love will melt an icy heart, or something like that. So Anna naturally thinks, oh, it must be true love's kiss. So then she sets off to find Hans to get true love's kiss. And obviously you know that it's not going to be him, it's obviously going to be Kristoff. But then, when the ending actually came, she was actually turned to ice, which I was like, whoa, I didn't actually expect that to happen. I thought they were going to get the true love's kiss thing. But then ultimately, the thing that surprised me, it wasn't true love's kiss, it was just the love from a sister. It was platonic love, family love, which I just did not see coming. I thought that was such a fantastic ending. The fact that the love from a sister actually freed her from a curse instead of the generic true love's kiss. I just thought, you know, bravo, brilliant ending. Overall, guys, despite my reluctance to watch Frozen, in the end, I found that I actually just really like this film. I wouldn't put it in the same league as, say, Lion King or Toy Story or anything like that. But I can easily see why so many people fell in love with this film, because it's got so many great things going for it. It's got a really good cast, the songs are good, the animation's gorgeous, the story's fun, light-hearted, and goes to some places which you don't see coming. And as a whole, this film's just really entertaining, and I can see why it got all the praise it did. But do I think you guys should watch this one? Honestly, I would say yeah. If you're like me, and you didn't want to watch this film because it was just so overhyped and near enough everyone had seen it, and you just thought, why do I need to see this one? It just doesn't really seem like anything that I'd want to see. I would honestly say, give this film a chance, because I'm actually so glad that I did. Pretty much to the point where I wish that I'd actually watched this film when it first came out, so I'd kind of like, you know, be in the in crowd, you know, talk to people about it and be like, oh, I watched Frozen too. But to be honest, I'm happy I've watched it when I have, because I feel like I'm appreciating it more than I would have if I'd probably watched it like 7 years ago. So as a whole, I'm saying, give give Frozen a chance. You might find that you actually like it. Okay, guys, that's my review of Frozen. Do you love it? Do you hate it? What do you think I should watch next? Whatever it is, drop it in the comments below. Until next time, I've been Michael. See ya.